So I'm shooting this one quite late at night, which is why I'm not going to talk very loud. And also I'm going to ask that if I'm just stating the blatantly obvious, please forgive me and move on. But I've been thinking about actually some quite serious things, but this was really prompted tonight by a trip to the cinema. I've been having this ongoing conversation with my wife about knife crime, and honestly, knife crime here in the UK is something that's in the news a lot at the moment, and knife crime is not a nice thing. Certainly when you're involved around a family that's had someone who's a victim of knife crime, and I know I've been in that situation, been at the funeral of someone who died as a result of knife injuries, and that's not a happy situation. That's not something you wish on anyone. That's not something you take lightly. At the same time, I'm trying to get my head round the way the media is portraying this and some of the figures that are involved, because today we're at cinema and there was an advert before the movies, and it was about think before you cross the road, don't end your life before you've lived it. And it was saying that every day someone in London is killed or seriously injured in a road traffic accident. Now, there are 365 days in the year. That makes 365 people in a year who are killed or injured in a road traffic accident in London. London has, 11, 12, 13 million people. It's probably the size of Norway, Sweden and Finland put together, something like that, for perspective. So I don't know whether that's a high figure or a low figure compared, say, to those three countries put together. But say out of those, and it didn't say in the advert, but say 10% actually died and the rest were just seriously injured. That would be 36 people, 37 people a year killed on London's roads. That figure's twice the number that are being killed through knife crime. In the figures that I've seen for this year, the figure's 17, 18 killed in knife incidents in London. Now, every one of those is a tragedy. None of those are things to take lightly. But my question is about how the media is handling this and portraying this, because the way I read it, there's sort of alarm bells going off saying that if you were to walk down the street, you're in danger of being knifed. Now, clearly, you are significantly more likely to step in front of a car and have a serious accident than you are to be knifed. And I don't want to make sort of a trite comparison, but I suppose I just wonder, I don't know, there must be other things, other statistics out there, and that there are a lot more things that are a lot more dangerous, and yet I heard yesterday that the police are going to start to take knife crime as a more, right up there with terror threats, as something that attention has been focused on. And I guess my point is this because over the last couple of months in the UK, the media have made such an issue that the police have to respond to do that, to be seen to be doing something. And for the figures involved, is that actually effective policing, sort of knee-jerk response policing that says, okay, we're going to do that? And whose responsibility is it? Yes, all those events of tragedy, yes, we don't want to see young people running around carrying knives, we don't want to see people being stabbed, we don't want to see people dying as a result of gang fighting. All those things are bad. But do we want a society that's sort of run on the hysteria of the newspaper and sort of media industry that needs to keep us living on our nerve ends, to keep their ratings up or their viewing figures up or their sales up? And I don't know, is it a utopian dream to think that sanity may one day prevail and these things be considered rationally? I think it probably is. But I suppose I'm just interested to see what your thoughts. Is that something any of you have picked up on? I don't know, for those of you watching maybe from another country, what's the situation like in your country, your part of the world? But for me, I suppose I don't want to take any of these things lightly, but at the same time, I don't want to be whipped up into some kind of crazed hysteria through irresponsible journalism and, just attention-seeking headlines. And I do think that we need to address real issues in the country, but I want to know that what I'm being told are the issues are real issues. Now, every crime is an issue, but if you understand what I'm trying to communicate through all that. So, if you have any thoughts on that, I'd be really interested to hear what you say. And so, thanks for watching, and yeah, do let me know what you think.